Happening now, the latest as police continue to seek two suspects connected to a Northside Jamestown shooting that hospitalized one. And we check in with a Jamestown candidate running for Congress. This is New York's congressional maps are finalized. Plus, take me out to the ball game. A look at the prep underway ahead of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks baseball game tomorrow.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. A lot local news is coming up, but first we start with our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter standing by with that. And looking out over Mayville right now, Dakota, all things are calm, but I hear some severe storms are in the potential works for this afternoon.
That's right, Justin. We are going to have some severe weather likely to go through the afternoon hours today. Now, as Justin mentioned, this is a live look from the Mayville sky cam. And again, you can see mainly the blue sky still overhead, but we are going to see the development of cloud and ultimately these storms. These are showers and storms that are popping because of a lake breeze. You can see how they just kind of form right over the Niagara Peninsula, and now they're coming into mainly Buffalo northward across Lake Ontario. So that's going to be the main issue for early this afternoon. For the southern tier in northwestern Pennsylvania, our threat comes later this afternoon. So the Storm Prediction Center has actually trimmed some of the slight risk back, but now basically everybody but the Lake Erie shoreline is included in this standard slight risk. That's a level 2 out of 5. And again, the main threats here is mainly going to be damaging straight line winds, maybe some heavy rainfall, and maybe a touch of large hail. The large hail threat's not relatively high today, but the main threat here could be some damaging winds, and we'll talk about the timing a little bit later on. So if you have any outdoor plans this afternoon, just keep your eyes to the sky. 82 was the high yesterday, started the day at 64, 95, and 33 are the records. So through the afternoon, partly sunny and still humid. Scattered showers and thunderstorms develop through the afternoon hour. Some of them could be strong to severe, again with gusty winds the main threat, 73 to 84 with a west wind. Now we'll talk about the storm timing then. A much more cooler air mass arrives. We'll talk about it with that Ultimate Satellite Solutions 7-day forecast later on in the show. Justin.
Yeah, and certainly a lot of people looking towards some relief there. We'll see you back in a bit. A 41-year-old man is in stable condition following a shooting on Jamestown's north side yesterday. Jamestown police responded to shots fired at 1211 Prendergast Avenue around 3:40 in the morning. Officers report a man was inside the home and shot in the abdomen. He was taken to UPMC Chautauqua Hospital, where he was later airlifted to UPMC Hammett for treatment. Now, as of yesterday afternoon, the department reports he's in stable condition. Following an investigation, police suspect two armed men dressed in all black targeted the home as part of the robbery. The men, police said, reportedly fled the residence before officers' arrival. Investigators are asking anyone with information in this incident to contact the department at 716-483-7537, or you can leave an anonymous tip at 716-483-TIPS. That number again is 483-8477. An Angola man imprisoned following an alleged burglary last week is facing additional charges after allegedly destroying jail property for the second time in less than a week. The Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office reports that 30-year-old Matthew Kennedy ripped apart a jail-issued mattress at the seams Monday evening. Corrections officers, deputies say, ordered Kennedy to stop, in which he refused. This is not the first time Kennedy has faced additional charges following an alleged burglary at a Villanova home. Last Friday, deputies reported the man intentionally damaged and activated a fire sprinkler head within his jail cell. He now faces 2 criminal mischief charges connected to both alleged incidences. And though the primaries have been moved from June to August, the race for New York's 23rd congressional seat is still in high gear, with 7 GOP members vying for nomination. Our Julia Grass is hearing from one local candidate about the redistricting process and where his campaign stands.
There was initially 14 counties that we had part of in the district from the Democratic plan that came out of the Senate and Assembly. And now we're down to 7 counties with Erie County being a partial and 6 other counties along the southern tier.
Richard Moon says though there will always be issues with district maps, he believes the maps drawn by the independent firm are fair for the area. The maps have, however, changed his opponents.
So we were prepared to run. Claudia Tenney would have been our principal opponent, although a couple of people jumped in late. And then with this redistricting, I think she's pulled out and gone back closer to home. Now she's 5 counties away as opposed to being 3 counties away. And Chris Jacobs, who was running in the 24th, is now running in this district.
The non-incumbent candidates must now recollect their signatures and petitions by June 10th to be on the ballot for the August primary. Moon, however, believes that once he is officially back on the ballot, he will have no trouble in the election given his primary opponent.
So Jacobs has had a political career that's been handed to him, right, because of his family name.
Meanwhile, Moon is running his campaign based on the fact that he's a political outsider who plans to take a different approach than career politicians.
I did grow up in Buffalo. I do have family in Western New York. I did work in Wellsville. I lived in Olean. I've raised my kids here in Chautauqua County. I really am the only representative of this district that is from this district wholeheartedly.
Moon says that if he is elected, he will try to update transparency policies in government, despite not having working relationships with any other House members.
It's always about going out and getting a consensus on points. And if you start to find common points that are hard to disagree with, like transparency, how do you disagree with being transparent? And it becomes easy to build a little bit of a coalition around that.
Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
Julia, thank you. Continuing election news now, Republican candidate for governor Rob Astorino made a campaign swing through the southern tier and Finger Lakes yesterday. Astorino just launched a new 7-point plan he says will bring jobs to upstate New York. He tells our news partner WENY something needs to be done to provide tax relief to New Yorkers, retain talent, and grow the state's economy. Astorino said he would lift the state's ban on natural gas drilling and also provide incentives to attract tech companies and startups, and that it all comes down to giving New Yorkers a reason to stay in the state.
Issues like taxes, people just can't afford to live here, and it's really everywhere in New York, but maybe more so felt here. And then just the lack of opportunities that people feel like, I'm just going to go to another state. There's a better opportunity, a job waiting for me somewhere. And that's pretty sad to me because we're blessed with so much beauty, natural resources, natural gas, and we're not allowed to take advantage of that, and we need it. The country needs it. And we've got a skilled labor force and an educated labor force, with our colleges, and yet they're leaving New York for other places. That is the biggest, I think, mistake that the state makes in not keeping them here.
He also said he has plans to grow the state's skilled workforce and strengthen the state's agricultural industry by reducing the burden on family farms. The state's gubernatorial primary is set for June 28th. The committee tasked with deciding the future of Jamestown City Council ward lines has voted to keep the current structure, 6 ward districts. The Jamestown Reapportionment Commission has been contemplating the future of the local political landscape following the release of the 2020 census data. The group, which consists of a variety of appointments from residents to current lawmakers, discussed either reducing the number of council wards from 6 to 5 or leaving the current count consistent. In the end, they voted to keep the number of wards intact. Next, they'll decide the future of the ward boundaries based on the latest census numbers. Most wards have had some sort of shift in population, with the largest being Ward 1, losing 254 residents on the city's north side. Others that saw a decrease in population include Ward 6, with a loss of 197 residents on the city's south side of town. As WNY News Now continues, gas tax reductions are taking effect today, both here in Chautauqua County and across New York. How much financial relief is on tap? And later, the latest steps in Albany to protect abortion rights in the Empire State. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
What is going on, my New York friends? My understanding is that you're in school for a little bit longer than most people, but I got some good news for you. Where are you going to be on September 10th? In Jamestown, New York, with me at 7 o'clock at the Reglena Theater, and you can get your tickets at reglena.com, REGLENNA.com. Make sure that you grab those now. It's going to be so much fun. Jamestown, New York, September 10th. Come and have fun with me.
What could you lose in a home fire? Your possessions? Your home? Your memories? Don't let your world go up in smoke. Make sure you have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones, because fire is everyone's fight.
This message was brought to you by the Jamestown Fire Department and the Chautauqua Safety Village.
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer with a day of fun activities for children in the Jamestown area, hosted by Collaborative Children's Solutions and the City of Jamestown. The first part of the day happens at Northwest Arena, where both kids and parents alike can learn about activities available to you. Later in the evening, finish out the night at the Tarp Skunk baseball game, along with a fireworks show at Russell Dietrich Jr. Park. Stop on down on Friday, June 24th, as we celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Starting today, both the local and state gas tax in Chautauqua County is reduced in an effort to provide some relief at the pump for drivers. New York State lawmakers first passed the tax break as part of the executive budget in April, suspending the 8 cents a gallon motor fuel tax and 8 cents a gallon sales tax through December 31st. In the end, customers statewide are expected to save about $2.12 a gallon to fill up. However, the state is slated to lose on $580 million in revenue as a result. Local lawmakers in Chautauqua County also approved a measure to help bring down prices. In late April, the legislature voted to set the gas tax cap at 12 cents. At that time, legislator Dave Wolfong told us this will likely bring a relief of 3 cents a gallon at county gas stations. Meanwhile, Wolfong says he voted for the measure, but he warned his fellow lawmakers to be careful that there won't be negative impacts because of it on cities, towns, and villages. For example, the city of Jamestown is slated to lose out on over $4,800, while smaller governments like the village of Falconer could lose out on $236. Nevertheless, many drivers are feeling that pinch at the pump, paying $4.93 a gallon statewide and $4.75 a gallon here in Chautauqua County, according to recent data released by AAA. And work to bring safety improvements to some Warren County roads is scheduled to start later this month. High-friction surface treatment areas are coming to these sections of roadway starting June 13th. Higher pavement friction helps motorists maintain better control in both dry and wet driving conditions. PennDOT accomplishes this by applying a skid-resistant surface treatment to the road. A safety analyst using crash data helped identify the roads this project is going to be taking place, weather permitting, and is expected to be complete in July 2020. And NYSEG is asking the state's Public Utility Commission for approval to raise rates. The company announced it filed proposed rate changes which would increase energy bills. According to NYSEG, the company wants to make infrastructure investments it says will help minimize impacts of climate change. The proposed Reliable Energy NY plan had proposed 13 to 22% monthly increase on each bill. That would increase the average electric bill by $10 to $18 a month. If approved, the rate increases would start May 1st, 2023. The proposal requires review by the state's Department of Public Service. And New York would expand legal protections for people seeking and providing abortions under a legislative package that lawmakers began debating this week. Democratic Governor Kathy Hochul has called for New York to increase legal protections for abortion services in the case that the U.S. Supreme Court overrules Roe v. Wade's nationwide right to abortion this summer. Lawmakers in the state Assembly and Senate began voting on bills Tuesday, with votes expected through Thursday, according to spokespeople for the chamber's leaders. One bill would protect abortion providers from arrest, extradition, and legal proceedings in other states by forbidding New York State and local courts and law enforcement agencies from cooperating in most scenarios. Exceptions could include criminal cases where another state's governor says someone committed a crime there and then later fled here to New York. Under another bill, New York would protect the rights of people to seek abortion or gender-affirming care in the state. People could sue for unlawful interference with their right to reproductive health care when other people or entities bring civil or criminal charges against them for seeking, accessing, or providing abortions. Well, years ago, safety was not a concern of college students looking to major in education, but today, students are faced with new concerns with growing into that profession. WNY News Now's Megan Solinsky has more.
It's sad to say, but are you willing to die for your students?
Every time I hear about a school shooting, I'm like, why do I want to do this?
It's also scary to think that, like, I could lose my life.
You're the one to protect your students at the end of the day.
As thousands of students are studying across the country to pursue a career in education, these are the thoughts that are going through their minds. Not only are they worried about what is going to happen to them in the classroom, they're concerned about how they will act to protect their students.
Will there be a class in my education degree, in the coming years that is like, oh, how to deal with a shooting 101 kind of thing? My passion is so much in helping kids and learning with them and learning something from the students and being in that classroom. And I know that's what I want to do for the rest of my life, but it has posed a question for me. Is this the safest thing to do? Because I've had family approach me and tell me not to major in education because they want to see me come home.
Despite their worries, these future teachers are ready to help.
There's a way to teach younger children this topic without being so clear-cut. Make sure communication is really open because kids have concerns, but a lot of school systems, I feel like, don't want to talk.
It's really important that students need to be safe to go to school because if they're not safe, they're not going to learn.
You're the one to protect your students at the end of the day.
Megan Solinsky, WNY News Now.
Such a tough topic to address. Megan, thank you. Coming up, the Jamestown Tarp Skunks' first home game of the season is taking place tomorrow. We check in with efforts to get that team ready for play. But first, when we return, a full look at our weather forecast and the severe threat today. Stay right there.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Right here, baby. Look. Oma.
Noah. Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Well, welcome back, and today is June 1st, which means it is the beginning of meteorological summer. So let's take a look at where we turned out for a meteorological spring. The average temperature, when you combine the monthly temperature for March, April, and May, was 46.7 degrees. That is almost 6 degrees above normal for the season. We had 12.69 inches of rain throughout the spring season. That's a little more than 1.5 inches of above normal for rainfall for the season. And in terms of snow, yes, we have snow in spring. It happens every year. 13.9 inches, close to 14 inches. That's down actually a little more than 4 inches for the season. But no snow out there right now. It's too warm for that. If it snows when it's this warm, there's something weird going on. So right now it's 76 degrees as a noon hour with a west wind of 15. It's still breezy, but that's the issue. The dew point's still at 65, so that creates a heat index or the feels like temperature of 81 degrees. And it's still going to be muggy before the cold front pushes through. So today, the same thing that we've been talking about, we still have this level 2 out of 5, this slight risk for basically much of the southern tier in northwestern Pennsylvania. Once you work across the Lake Erie shoreline, you are under a level 1 out of 5. And that has to do with what's called a lake breeze. A wind setting up off Lake Erie will likely protect the Lake Erie shoreline today from at least some of the strongest activity. So again, in terms of the weather impacts, it's still going to be a damaging wind gust threat. We're talking about wind gusts maybe 60, 65 miles an hour. A touch of small hail or maybe a touch of large hail could be possible. Flooding not going to be a main concern because these are going to be kind of fast moving storms, but we'll keep our eyes on it and see what happens here. The timing is going to be about 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock this evening. Now that doesn't mean storms are going to be occurring throughout this time frame. That just means that that's going to be the time frame for at least to catch a couple of stronger storms. This is where much of the activity is now on First Defense Doppler radar, mainly across the Lake Erie shoreline. These are all storms that have formed out ahead of that cold front, impacting basically Niagara, Orleans, and Monroe counties up near the Lake Ontario shoreline. But we're also starting to see the development of a few scattered showers down across Cattaraugus County, and these are going to continue out ahead of that front before that front moves through here. So the newest run of Future Scan basically shows you what's happening. Those storms moving up to the north. Then notice the storm starting to flare across the southern tier in northwestern PA. Understand, the same thing we talked about yesterday. This is a computer simulation. So again, the storms are not going to flare in this exact location, but you're getting the idea of where the better chance of the thunderstorm development will be. Then as the cold front crosses, notice the wind shifting back across. That'll bring us much cooler air for tomorrow with a few scattered showers in the air for the day tomorrow. But then it will ultimately turn much drier as we go into Thursday night and into Friday, and then it turns much cooler as we go into the weekend. So 53 to 58 tonight, scattered showers and storms early, a few of them strong, then it turns mostly cloudy through the overnight hours. Now the next 7 days, powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. So we're down to 67 tomorrow with a few scattered showers, a nice day Friday, 68, loads of sunshine on Saturday, 65, a seasonable day Sunday, 75, and then we are going to stay actually a little bit below average, Justin, as we go into next Tuesday with just a few scattered showers.
All right, some good relief from the muggies there, Dakota, thank you. Well, summer doesn't officially start for a few more weeks, but Memorial Day marks the unofficial beginning of it, and with summer comes the Atlantic hurricane season. It starts today and ends on November 30th. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration is predicting an above-average hurricane activity this year. They attribute that to higher than normal Atlantic temperatures and the ongoing La Niña, a Pacific Ocean climate pattern that can affect the whole globe. If those forecasters are right, it would make 2022 the 7th straight above-average hurricane season. The agency is expecting a likely range of 14 to 21 named storms with a possibility of 6 to 10 becoming hurricanes. And on Tuesday, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen admitted something most Americans have known for months. She and other top leaders were wrong when they downplayed the significance of inflation last year. In 2021, Yellen said inflation posed only a small risk. A Treasury spokesperson clarified numerous unforeseen global events have happened since Yellen's comments last year. She was among those who intentionally framed inflation as a temporary side effect of the economy returning to normal following the pandemic. While she later admitted Tuesday that she had failed to anticipate how long it would last. The Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell has also taken heat from his initial assessment of rising inflation and what some say was a slow response to it. However, the Fed has now promised to swiftly raise interest rates. Texas's governor has declared a state of disaster in Uvalde to accelerate state and local resources to assist the community as the first funerals for the victims of the Robb Elementary School massacre are now taking place. Meredith Wood has more on how the tragedy is bringing people together to pay their respects and say their final goodbyes.
1 week after the lives of 19 children and 2 adults were cut short in a cold-blooded mass shooting at Robb Elementary School, their loved ones and community are starting to say their final goodbyes.
When that casket closes and that they lower it down, for me, it's the realization that you won't be able to touch them again. One more hug, one more kiss, one more goodbye.
1 week later, the memorial for the victims continues to grow. Forever stained the scene of a massacre. The school where innocent children went to learn and mold themselves for the future is now a place for people to pay their respects. And the pain and the trauma still sits fresh on the minds of those who survived.
I just told my class, get on the ground, get on the ground, get to the corner. I just kept hearing shots fired and I just kept praying, God, please don't let him come in my room. Please don't let him come in this room. And for some reason, he didn't.
Now, in the wake of multiple mass shootings scarring the nation, President Biden says he plans on meeting with members of Congress to try and help lawmakers find common ground on the possibility of gun reform laws.
I've been to more mass shooting aftermaths than I think any president in American history, unfortunately. And it's just so much of it is preventable.
I'm Meredith Wood reporting.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer with a day of fun activities for children in the Jamestown area. Hosted by Collaborative Children's Solutions and the City of Jamestown. The first part of the day happens at the Northwest Arena as we ring in summer vacation with a party featuring snacks, music, and more. In addition, several groups will be on hand speaking with both kids and parents about the plethora of activities available to keep our youth occupied. Then later in the evening, finish out the home run day with a night of fun at the Tarp Skunk baseball game, along with a fireworks show at Russell Dietrich Jr. Park. As a PE teacher, I know the importance of keeping kids busy this summer, so stop on down on Friday, June 24th, as we celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer. You can learn more online at ccsolutions716.com and watch for updates on the Collaborative Children's Solutions Facebook page.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Finally today, the Jamestown Tarp Skunks baseball team will return to the field to play their first home game tomorrow at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park. Our Bronson Rasmussen spoke to the team as they are preparing for opening pitch.
The team is currently gearing up for the season, with head coach Jordan Bazile working diligently with the Skunks to even out the edges.
I like what we have. I'm excited about the guys that we have. I think we're gonna have some wins. We're gonna make the hometown proud.
Playing in the West Division of the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League, the Tarp Skunks are excited to get back to the field and defend their Western Division crown.
Feeling great, just ready to get out there and show the fans of Jamestown what we can do.
Very excited. This is my first time experiencing anything like this, so I'm very excited to get on the field and represent this Tarp Skunks.
Yeah, I'm excited. Hoping to get out here, get a few innings, help the team out.
Coach Bazile believes that fan support is the determining factor in how the players perform.
I hope that we see everybody at the park like we did last year, because I know these guys out here love seeing everybody come support them and can't get enough of that.
As for the players, they only have one thing to say.
Let's get stinky, baby. Let's get stinky.
The Tarp Skunks play Thursday night with the first pitch at 6:30 p.m. and a tailgate party starting at 5 p.m., concluding with fireworks. Ticket prices range from $6 for bleacher seats, $8 for grandstand seating, and $13 for reserve seating. Seniors, military, and kids receive a $1 discount in all tickets. Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
Thank you, Bronson. Let's get stinky. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't always get behind the Tarp Skunks name, but you know what? I think it's so cute. And there was a lady who I met. Her name escapes me, but I will never forget. She had a Whiffy the Tarp Skunk plush stuffed animal last year at the opener, and I will never, ever forget that.
He said get stinky, so that's what I'm doing. I've got a Rice Krispie treat trying to get
Well,
stinky.
then you'd... Oh, sticky.
No, stinky.
Stinky.
He said get stinky.
Yeah.
So
but
I don't have anything that stinks, so I don't know. I'm trying to get stinky.
I'm not sure what's happening here, but...
See you tomorrow. Goodbye.
That's going to do it for us today. Stinky. Have a good day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.